All right, athletes, coming at you today from my office. And hey, I wanted to talk about something that about an old perception that there is, what we've been taught to believe for years and years and years, and something that I've been taught to believe back when I went to college. And you know how it is. Like, if you've gone to college, you remember when you go through college, everything that you learn, at least this was my experience, everything that you learn when you go to college is like, you take that shit as like fact, right? Like you take that all in. And I remember, like, I would just obsess over it, and I was so excited to learn about human physiology and how human performance and biomechanics, like all of these things were things that I was really, really passionate about and that I just loved learning about. But the kind of the funny thing is like, we take all that stuff in and we accept it all as like truth, right? And the real truth is that just about everything that we learn or that we accept as truth can be and should be questioned. Because just about everything that I learned back in the day, for the most part, has been not debunked. Some of it's been debunked, but like shifted. You know, it's no longer this is true. It's no longer this is true. It's no longer that this is a fact. It's not, everything is kind of like knowledge and the way things work, especially when it comes to human physiology, which is like the most incredibly magical thing that there is in this world. Like, human physiology is just being a human, quite honestly, is freaking miraculous, right? The fact that we're here, the fact that you're listening to me right now talk to you like this is like mind-blowing, right? It's mind-blowing. There is magic, and science cannot figure out magic. So for us to talk about human physiology and for us to talk about human beings and to say this is 100% true 100% of the time, if you do this, this will happen, we got to be pretty careful with that, right? We have to question those beliefs, and that's what makes us better. And I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but I think it's important to understand this, to start questioning maybe some of the thoughts and the beliefs that you might have had around fitness and nutrition and stress and sleep and all of the things that make up your health and well-being. The kind of cool thing is that we know that there are certain things that we can do to take somebody from an unhealthy place into a much healthier place, right? The tactics and strategies are up for debate, right? Because there's a lot of ways we can skin this cat. Although you should never skin a cat, because that's really weird, right? So don't skin cats. But there are different ways that we can go from point A to point B, and we know we can have a positive impact on someone's health. But to say that this, if you do this, it's going to equal this 100% of the time is a bit, it kind of puts you in a box, right? And as you likely know, if you're here, to grow, to become better, to become a better version of ourselves, we've got to sometimes get out of that box. We have to start looking and exploring some of the beliefs and some of the thoughts and some of the ideas, some of the values, some of the things that we have, so that we can move ourselves into a better position. I'm getting very philosophical here. This was not the intention of this video at all. The intention of this video was to talk about something that is one of these old beliefs that I was given way back in the day, and that seems to still be persistent today. And that is, if I do more cardio, I'm going to lose weight. Cardio equals weight loss, right? And really, if we break that down a little bit deeper, right, that's kind of like the surface of it, kind of the big picture, right? If I do cardio, if I get my heart rate elevated, if I go into the fat burning zone, right, then I'm going to burn fat and I'm going to get lean. And that's all we need to do. And that's a very persistent belief for most folks. Even if we've seen some research or some data or some examples or real world people who have lost a lot of weight without cardio, we still kind of hold on to that. It's amazing. We want to hold on to old beliefs. It's a very comfortable place for us as humans. We build these beliefs, we build these values, and we want to hold those, even if sometimes we're given other evidence to say, which you would think would get us thinking something different, right? But we want to hold on to those values. We want to hold on to those beliefs. We want to stay in our little box. So I would challenge you to open up your mind, to expand your mind, to start thinking of some different things, and to start really even experimenting with different things. So this belief of, if I do a lot of cardio, I'm going to get lean. What if that wasn't the case? Because I know in many, many instances, and this was kind of forced upon me, even when I saw people doing cardio and getting fatter, I still held on to the belief that maybe they weren't doing the right kind of cardio. Like I would still hold on to the belief that look, something, there was something else there, but I believed if they just kept doing it, that maybe somehow miraculously it would just manifest. And in a lot of cases it wouldn't. And it probably took me the first couple of years of my professional career in the world of fitness to really start to say, look, there's something wrong here. And it took a long time because nobody really came to me and told me. I was waiting for someone to sort of come in and save me, and to tell me that I was doing everything right, which is kind of what I found. I found people telling me, well, yeah, just hold the course. It'll come, it'll happen, which was BS. It didn't work out that way. So it's not until I stepped out of that box, that way of thinking, that I started to challenge those old beliefs, and I started to grow into a better coach so I could help people better. And it's one of the reasons I'm here today, because I always continuously challenge some of these old beliefs, right? Even with the methodologies that I use today, I'm always sort of questioning them. I know they're effective, I know they work, but can they be better? Can we make them simpler? Can we find a more elegant solution? And if the answer is yes, I'm all in. I'm never going to be doggedly, stuck on one specific methodology. And the interesting thing is, over the course of 20 plus years in the industry, I've been able to test a lot of different things. I've been able to do a lot of different things. Like, I've pretty much kept my mind open during this whole time, and I've come up with the systems and the things that I know work very, very well just because of trial and error. And because there's so much crap out there that I've been able to spend the time, because I chose this as a career, I've been able to spend the time to sort of work in these different areas, and I've been able to play with all these different things. And with experience comes some knowledge, right? We can understand where, I can see things a little bit clearer, especially in the world of health and fitness and nutrition and stress and all these things. When there's so much information and it's so messy and so chaotic, it's taken me a long time to be able to narrow all this stuff down into some very simple solutions that work very, very well, pretty much 100% of the time. And that's what I've been chasing, literally for my entire career, and for myself, because I needed something that was going to be elegant, efficient, and worked very, very well. And I knew that I needed to be super, super healthy. And I knew that health was not just about weight loss. It was not just about being lean. It was not just about being strong. It was not just about being fit. It was not just about being stress-free. It was not just about sleeping good at night. It was about all of those things, right? One little thing is oftentimes not the answer. We have to look a little bit more comprehensively. But when we start to go big, big picture and comprehensive, it becomes mind-blowing, right? So I knew we had to simplify this whole thing, right? So again, here I am rambling off and on, but this is what I do sometimes. But I want to bring you value, and I want you to understand these things, and I want you to really challenge yourself so that you can move yourself forward, so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can be ridiculously healthy no matter how old you are. I had a conversation, an amazing conversation with a close friend of mine, and we became friends. He started actually working with me, so I was his coach. I've been his coach it's probably been about 6 or 7 years now. I've been working closely with this individual, and we've become friends, and I still continue to work with him. And he's 62 years old, and he's super lean, super fit, super strong, and he's recently had a bit of a setback. He hurt his back. Not bad, but enough where he's annoyed, and I get it, right? And we had this guy, he called me up and he's like, look, man, here's where I'm at. I was making such great progress. I'm stronger than I've ever been. And then I did a movement and my back went out. And I've been struggling with it for the last few days. Do you have any advice for me? And the first thing that we did is we agreed that when we choose this life, when we choose to step out of the box, when we choose to challenge ourselves, it never goes without risk. It never goes without risk. Nothing that we choose to do is without risk. Even if you decide to stay in your little box, even if you decide to sit on the couch every single day because it's the safest place, right? There's risk to that. Because it's safe and maybe you don't have an orthopedic injury, the risk is you might have a heart attack, right? Like there are some costs involved with not getting yourself strong, right? So to say, and then we started getting into this conversation about how he was telling a friend of his who was in his 60s what he was doing, and his friend was like, what are you doing? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be that? Why would you want to lift that? Why would you're 62, you need to stop doing that. And my friend is like, you don't understand, like, what, you don't want, he's in this model of it's wrong to be strong after 60. And unfortunately, that's a persistent belief, right? And again, it goes into questioning, like, I understand that there's some risk involved in doing what I'm doing, but there's also risk involved in doing what you're doing, which is not moving yourself forward, which is not being strong. This gentleman happened to be a biker, and he just loved biking. So he wanted my friend to get into biking. And my friend's like, well, look, there's a chance you're going to fall off your bike and break a collarbone, right? Like, the risk is, no matter what you do, there's going to be risk there. And my friend's he's not going to tell this guy to stop biking, right? Like, we have to make sure that we're not getting stuck in our little box, to think bigger and to imagine what's possible, and then be able to mitigate the risks, of course, right? So we had this wonderful conversation about, look, you can stop, right? Heal yourself, and maybe not go down this road again from a workout standpoint, like never get injured in a workout again, because if you never work out, you're never going to get injured working out, right? But where are the injuries going to show up if you're not working out? They're probably going to show up in your everyday life, and they're going to be doing silly stuff. Like, you can either hurt yourself developing yourself and building yourself, right, in your efforts to get strong, or you can hurt yourself picking up a paperclip because you were too scared to move yourself forward and to practice weightlifting to make yourself strong. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to pay for it somewhere. Why not, if there's going to be something bad that's going to happen, why not have it happen when you're growing, right? I always say, like, I want to die in growth mode. I don't want to die in fear. Right? I want to always move forward. I don't want to stop. I want to mitigate the risks. I want to do things safely. And the good news is, with exercise, we know enough now on how to do things very safely and how to build strength and conditioning in a very safe way. Doesn't mean you're never gonna have an injury. You're never gonna have a setback. 100% no. But to have the right mindset going into some of these things, to think differently than what we've been taught before, right? The old way of thinking, cardio creates weight loss. When you're over 60 years old, you shouldn't lift heavy stuff anymore. Like there's so many of these silly, what I would consider thoughts and beliefs that we may hold as fact. And then you see my friend who's in his 60s and is stronger than most guys in their 20s. even though he had a setback, because I'll tell you 100%, and he knows this, he's going to recover and he's going to continue and he's going to be just fine. It's a minor setback. It's annoying, granted, but he knows that this is just a setback. It's a mindset, right? It's a mindset thing. I'm working with a gentleman, it's going on about 6 months now. When he started, he never did any exercise. He's like a 44-year-old guy, never did any formal exercise and was very afraid of hurting himself. But that's what he was taught. Like, if you do exercise too much, if you lift weights, you're going to hurt yourself. Like, that was his reality. That was his box. And I challenged him on some of that stuff. And then when we started moving, when we started working, we started developing his strength, every single time something would feel a little bit off, he would back up, which I get it, because his belief was, oh my God, I'm getting hurt, right? He was in that box. And I would say, we're watching, we're making sure, like, I'm seeing him do his movements, so I know what he's doing. And as long as everything looks good, I would encourage him, like, look, your body is protesting a little bit. Things are going to happen. Your body's going to be like, hey, what's going on here? What are you doing? I don't like this. I'm going to throw a little inflammation in the shoulder, right? Nothing bad, but just enough to just be annoying, right? So based on my experience, I've done this so many times with folks, that I knew that the things that he were feeling were just part of the adaptation process. So I would kind of nudge him along. You're good. Let's keep moving. We kept him safe and he would be fine. And then we push him a little bit more, and we push him a little bit more, and we push him a little bit more. And then those things started to drop off. The fear started to go away. The confidence started to come in. And now he's in a place where he's freaking crushing it. He never ever thought that he would be as strong as he is right now, ever in his life. But he had to get out of his old ways of thinking. He had to create new beliefs. He had to question those old thoughts that were put into his head somewhere along this journey. And that's a hard thing for a lot of guys, right? We have to get out of our old way of thinking. So going back to cardio creates weight loss. There might be some truth to that, but question that. Is it really true? Do you know anybody that's a runner? Because there's a lot of runners, right? A lot of recreational runners. Do you know any runners out there that carry 30 extra pounds of body fat, and maybe even going up? And I challenge you, like, go to a 5K race, a local 5K race. I know there's none going on right now because of COVID, but once COVID goes away, go to your local 5K race. Watch the top 10% of the people that cross the finish line, the top 10 performers, top 10% of the performers. And you're going to find that probably 80% of them have extra body fat. And you're like, how are they so fast, yet they're still kind of fat? Like they don't look the part at all. There's something else there, right? And until you expand your mind and you open up to these other beliefs, these new things, you can start to come up with different frameworks, different strategies, different tactics, different thoughts, and you can create a different version of yourself than being stuck. There's nothing worse than being stuck, right? If you're stuck, sometimes it's good to get help. Sometimes it's good to have someone to not buy into your stories and your beliefs that you've created over the years. Like this gentleman who never thought he could be strong because he thought he was going to hurt himself. I never bought into that story that he had because I just knew. And I never bought into that. I bought into him as a person. I understood his capacity, his capability. I knew what he was capable of. And I knew that he just needed to expand, to open up. And he needed somebody just to help him with that and to guide him with that and to make sure that he was doing the right things. And it's amazing what you can do. So if you're stuck and you're not in the position that you want to be in, and if you've been stuck for a long time, it's your responsibility to get some help to move forward. Because if you stay stuck, it's on you. It's only your fault. It's nobody else's fault. If you're looking in the mirror and you're cringing at the person looking in the mirror, and you feel like you're doing the right things, like you feel like you're eating pretty good, you're doing some exercise, but you're still not in the place that you want to be, that's on you. You've got some limiting beliefs. You need to create some new thoughts. some new, you have to dig deeper than just tactics and strategies. You have to open your mind to new ideas and new thoughts, new methodologies. Get out of the old ways of thinking and get into the new. And practice, right? Practice. It's the only reason that I've gotten to the place that I'm in right now. And I still have limiting beliefs around areas, but that's why I hire coaches. I am the best student there is because I understand the value and I know how many limiting beliefs I have in different areas of my life. And I'm willing to challenge those beliefs, and I'm willing to hire folks to help me to get myself into a better place. I've done a great job in the fitness realm, the health realm, like that's where I excel. And now I'm opening up and expanding myself in other areas of my life, professionally, personally, relationships, like these kinds of things. The truth is we can always grow. Just, are you open to it? Are you open to getting out of the box? Are you open to being uncomfortable? Because it kind of makes you squirm, right? Fear will hold you back. The fear will keep you in your box. There is other ways. There's other methods. There's other thoughts. You don't have to be completely married to any one particular thing. But I'll tell you what, when you find something that works really, really well, that's your chance to run, to go. When you find something that works really well for you and you see yourself progressing, that's where you can just go. You can just run. It's kind of exciting. It's almost like all the resistance just falls away and you're able to just expand and grow. That's super, super fun. All right. Anyways, if you'd like any help on this, I'm happy to help you out. Just hit me up in Messenger. I'll tell you exactly how I can help you in the physical realm to get yourself into a better place, to get yourself unstuck, to question and challenge you on maybe some of your old beliefs and figure out why you're in the place that you're in right now, which is not making you happy. If you're not happy, it's your responsibility to make the changes, to question your old beliefs, to get yourself into a better place, and to maybe even find the help that you need to get yourself there. All right. Have a great day. Talk soon.